The Adeptus Astartes are amongst the finest warriors who take to battle in the name of the Emperor. The Albion system has long been protected by its own chapter that descended from the Dark Angel's gene seed. This chapter only accepts the purest of candidates to join their ranks, and for those brave enough, a series of trials lay ahead. These trials will bond the aspirants spiritually to the chapter as they train to defend each and every planet in the system and become a praetor of Albion. Each and every citizen, upon reaching their 15th birthday, are enrolled into mandatory service in the Planetary Defence Force. Its purpose is to instill a sense of loyalty and devotion to their brothers and sisters, but also to the ruling monarchy and above all else, the Emperor. All must complete a year within the Guard as a White Shield, learning the art of defence, such as how to strip and fire a lasgun, and how to man defence of their home, be it in the bastions or in their workplaces. The standards that all citizens must achieve are to strip and rebuild their rifle in under a minute, and then hit 5 targets an inch in size at 25 yards. Once they have become militarised, citizens are to undergo classes delivered by the Commissariat. These will be delivered by the most junior commissars eager to prove themselves, training in their own skills. From here, they will be utilised either in patrols of the remaining citizenry, keeping a watchful eye on their fellow man, or also employed in great projects to improve their society. After a year of service with the White Shields, all are offered a chance of further service, either in the Guard or the Arbites. Otherwise, they can contribute in other ways, serving in other roles such as the vast manufactorums, administratums, or working on the agri-worlds, amongst many, many others. Those who have signed on for further service and that have an exemplary record are extended a further offer. Based on their martial skills, their devotion to the cause, and aptitude, a small handful may become Space Marine aspirants and begin the trials to rise to the rank of Battle Brother. Any that step forwards are gathered up and confronted with a chaplain of the chapter. Here it is explained that there are 6 trials to prove each man's worth, and that death is offered to those wishing to rise up. This is the only opportunity for aspirants to turn around. Accepting this offer, it means death or glory. There is no other. Of course, selecting young and naive aspirants with a romantic view in their hearts, many often enter foolishly into this challenge. For those who still accept, an oath is sworn to the Emperor, to their king, and to their brothers. They are now ready for the first trial. As hurdles go, the first trial is possibly the hardest to instantly remove those who are not worthy and not strong enough to become a battle brother. An aspirant will be taken to the 3rd planet, home of the Librarium Sanctus, and they are mentally interrogated by a powerful psyker who will look deep into their very being. It is a great testament to the Commissariat that few impurities are ever found in applicants. Upon showing a clean soul, they are guided into one of the subterranean vaults, passing through a complex of array of doors, labyrinth in their many, until, outside, in a chamber that exudes a hateful aura. Here lies the first test. Through this door, the aspirant is stood affront a chaos demon and forced to stare at it with evil apparatus. Behind them stood is a librarian with bolter at the ready, for those who were driven unrecoverably mad, ready to be executed at a moment's notice. After what must have felt like a horrible eternity, dragging them out of the room, they are yet again interrogated to see if their purity is unquestionable. This first stage requires much mental recuperation, and so aspirants are closely monitored and rested whilst they undergo the first stages of the biological transformation into an Astartes. During their recovery, aspirants are given blessings and are mentored in the history of the chapter. They are to develop a bond within their being ahead of their second trial, being tutored by a fellow brother Astartes. Boarding a Valkyrie, they are flown out to the desert world of Albion 6 and are thrown out at random, tasked to find their way to the grave of one of the oldest serving battle brothers. They are not provided with map or compass. All they are told is to let their spirit guide them onwards. With only their service lasgun and a small canteen, they must walk a minimum of 48 kilometers to find this holy site. Those running the trial care not if an aspirant is confronted by one of the many orc clans that scavenge the desert. This is seen as an additional test, random in nature, and unfortunately, here again, a number are lost, either by wandering aimlessly as their weak bond fails to guide them and are swallowed by the sands, or slaughtered by the merciless greenskins. Those who make it to the site find their loyalty and bond cemented and are rewarded with further enhancements once they are recovered back from the planet. With their strength of character, will, and mind assured, aspirants must demonstrate their strength in a more literal sense. Albion's heritage comes from its days of pioneering warriors fighting back against monstrous beasts, chief of these being great and hideous dragons, claiming mighty trophies in each of their defeats. Many of these were long ago hunted to extinction, but the spirit of the warrior still lives on. The aspirant, now well on their way to being deemed superhuman, is flown out to the fifth planet, with its gargantuan forests, some so dense that even light cannot pierce its hideous canopies. One of these is home to a reserve where dragifs, a close relative to the dragon species, are carefully bred and kept ready for their next trial. Aspirants are bestowed with an Astartes chainsword and some water and sent into the forest. They are allowed only to return when they have the head or heart of a dragif in their hand. These beasts come in a variety of strength, ferocity, and deadliness, which often leads candidates to hunt the finest of trophies. This sometimes leading them to remain stranded in the depths of the trees for weeks or even months at a time. They rely on their survival skills and new implants to survive the arduous lengths. Successful aspirants return and are awarded the chainsword that they have used, now with a firm connection to the deadly weapon. But for those who fail, they are to become mere biomass for the beasts of the forests and off. Having now made their way through half of the ascension process, it is now time for a well-deserved rest. The fourth trial is found on the floating monastery, which are on the remains of the fourth planet, torn apart during the shattering. By now the aspirants' numbers are but a handful, but this is a perfect number to come under the tutorage of the Master of Sanctity of the chapter. In between some of the most invasive surgeries, and the many tasks that take care of the monastery with its vast graveyard for the gene seed laying outside, aspirants are guided through more of the history of the chapter and are provided with spiritual guidance in the ways of the Ceramite warrior. Here they are not far off the finished product, ready to don the armour of their forefathers and take to battle in the Emperor's name. But this trial is often overlooked, as there is no death or peril knocking at the door. But it is of the utmost importance that an aspirant learn his bearing and to be a humble warrior. The imprints left by the Master of Sanctity, most subtle in nature, often is what guides the Astartes onto their future greatness and glory. Being now ready to take on the plate of an Astartes, aspirants are taken to Albion 3, where they will learn their specialism and discover the means in which they can most efficiently deliver death to the foe. Every Marine, however, no matter their role, is expected to be a master of both the bolter and the sword, and will undergo regular classes on how to master both skills. Mentioned earlier, the standard expected of a lowly citizen is quite a marksman. Therefore, an Astartes, who is one with his bolter, is expected to be able to place a round in both pupils of an enemy warrior before they've had the chance to hit the ground at half a mile away. Passing these classes, they are then streamed into a few roles based around their record throughout their training, and here they can specialise in ranged or close combat arts, taking to battle in heavier plate, being a master of movement, or in stealth and guile, or to take battle in the few Astartes vehicles that support their battle brothers. Each role has a lengthy and arduous training period for their mastery, ending with a test which still carries lethal consequences if full-heartedly undertaken. Success means that they move on to the final trial. Aspirants are now essentially a fully fledged Astartes and are ready to be taken to the capital planet to sit their last tests in the Imperial Colosseum. This comprises of a wide range of individual challenges which will be faced back to back without rest. This final trial is known as the Crucible. This begins with a trial by combat against a veteran battle brother chosen by the aspirant. During the duel, they will be quizzed by their opponent on the history and the ways of the chapter. All the while dodging deadly blows, it is still expected that every answer be correct. The trial will only complete when the aspirant proves their loyalty to their brothers, or succeeds in landing a rare wounding blow against their veteran opponent. Previous trials often leading to severe wounds on both sides. The Crucible instantly continues as aspirants are put through a test of their tactical skills. A series of grandiose scenarios are placed before them, and they are expected to provide the perfect outcome for each and every scenario. With glory near in their sights, the final task is to recite by memory from their chapter's codex. With passages requested by either the captain or the lieutenant of the company they are to join stood in front of them. Again here it is expected to be nothing but perfection, word by word. The moment this test is complete, a prayer of blessing is uttered by a chapter chaplain as the aspirant completes their ascension and is awarded the rank of Battle Brother. They are then imbued with a suit of armour which is now fully marked in the chapter and the company's heraldry. From here, they and their new joining battle brothers are paraded through the streets to the masses in an eruption of celebrations to their new defenders. For they are now a praetor of Albion. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I hopefully for those of you who've returned might have noticed the sound quality's got a little bit better. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!